Okay. Hey
I'm
guys.
fighting Skeletron right
Okay. See, I was about to start, and
now. I killed Skeletron, don't worry.
nice, good job. I hate you. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to episode 7 of the Wandering Skeletons podcast. I'm here with Bryant, with Reese. The usual, the huge. How's everyone doing right now? I'm pretty tired actually. But...
Yeah, no, I'm actually so tired too right now.
I'm chilling. I ate some hamburgers, just barely, so feeling good.
I had a
You.
sandwich. It was pretty nice. But
Okay.
that was actually my first topic is sandwich. No, I'm kidding. I was kind of expecting a more organic way into going into this, but I guess we didn't have cool, interesting weeks at all.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know we were supposed to give a report on the past month.
Well, I'm trying a new thing out, We can't just delve into topics quite yet, What if someone's intrigued about what we're doing? Like,
That's
on.
true. I have a glamorous lifestyle right now.
Yeah.
So,
Just kind of sitting here, and Reese just
Being-
waits for the podcast to happen,
True.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything.
Unemployed
Brian, on
life.
the other hand, I barely heard you talking about a cabinet or something.
Yeah, I helped my dad install cabinets today, and I'm so tired.
See,
So
this
tired.
is the glamorous life we are leading, you guys. You don't even know. Installing cabinets. Let's go,
These guys
dude.
want to be like us.
For real. No, but I don't know. I was kind of looking around, trying to figure out what we should talk about, and this happened kind of 2 weeks ago, and I don't really know too much about it, but I mean, we've all played Minecraft, right?
Nope.
Reese has only played it on his phone. But...
Just fake fan.
Fake fan.
fan.
But recently, 2 weeks ago, they announced that they were gonna kind of make sure there's no guns at all. Okay,
Huh?
I don't know who's playing the.
That's right.
That was
Okay.
Reese. That was Reese.
Oh, give me a break.
You can't give me the cricket. That wasn't even a joke. I'm just describing what we're gonna talk
That
about.
was
Dude.
Reese. Oh no.
It's gaslighting you.
Okay. Well, I don't know about Reese, because did you play any Minecraft when you were little?
Me? Yes, I played Minecraft when I was little.
Are you sure?
Yes, I hate you, George. I was playing that game since beta.
Since beta.
That's actually
Okay.
insane.
I mean, I don't know.
I have.
You don't strike me as you were born in a lab, basically, dude. I don't know.
That's test tube, baby.
Did you play any, Brian?
Well, what do you mean?
Specifically, when I say play Minecraft, I mean a lot of the time I spent as a kid was on Hypixel and Mineplex and stuff like that.
Oh no, I couldn't get into servers. When I started playing it, it was on my mom's laptop, and it was so bad that we couldn't even run it. So yeah, not really when I was younger.
Dang. I doubt Reese. Did you play on Hypixel? I don't think so. Did you?
You played Bed Wars though, right?
Yeah, I did play it, but it was later in my life. It was one of the first multiplayer games that I ever played.
That's crazy.
Well, I used to play Hypixel religiously back then. I was that.
Oh,
that's
really?
the only thing I used to do as a kid, and I think.
What would you play?
What would I play? I used to play this. It was like Smash Bros, but you could choose mobs as your character.
What?
This was on
so is it
Mineplex.
2D as well?
No, it was 3D, but it was kind of that was the theme. Was Smash Bros, but with just skeleton, spider, crap like that. It was. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I met some weird people there, but that's another. That's another thing. Anyways,
Send some pictures to them. Okay.
uh, I was like 7. I don't.
Ooh,
What did you do
even
as a
better.
child, Reese? What were
You
you
didn't have
doing?
a Minecraft girlfriend? Minecraft boyfriend?
No, I.
Oh man.
That's besides the point. Okay. What we have to circle back to what I actually want to talk about is this kind of has shut up. This kind of has something to do with everything. So this was like a
Mm-hmm.
game mode they introduced like a couple years ago. It was like Cops and Crims. I don't know. I think Mineplex had like a version and Hypixel has a version. It's just CS:GO but in Minecraft or whatever. You know?
Like
Okay.
Crunker, but
Yeah, basically Crunker actually. It's just Crunker. I don't know if the people at home know what Crunker is.
yeah,
I
no one
think
knows what
so, right?
Crunker is.
No one knows. I kind of. Well, anyways,
Don't
um,
play
yeah,
Comment
play
below
it.
if you played Crunker.
Yeah, the Crunker fan base is dying. You know, post it down there if you're a Crunky, right?
It doesn't work because Crunker has an ER in it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, um, I'm getting off topic. Basically, Mojang 2 weeks ago was like, no more guns, no more anything. So basically, games like that where it's like CS:GO, and it's like, uh, you know. Also, I can hear myself through your mic, Reese.
Oh,
Anyway, they're getting rid of CS:GO and Minecraft, basically. Well, not necessarily, but just like they like have textures and it's like guns. So you can't have that anymore. And if you're doing any mods or anything server, I guess mods would be fine because that's like a I don't know how they would even try to police that, but like Minecraft
Yeah.
servers like Hypixel and stuff like that, like basically I don't know the extent of what they would do. I don't know if that means like Hypixel would get banned if they had like gun textures in their mini games or something, but it's just kind of like
did they
I
give
don't
a
know.
reason why?
I do have a quote. This is the quote: "Guns and weapons are considered non-compliant features under our adult content requirement for commercial usage servers." I have no idea what that means. Honestly, that's just like
That makes sense. Because I think
no.
Minecraft leases out their not lease is not the right word, but they give Hypixel and servers like that their basically like their server information. Uh,
Hmm.
and so if you're like an official representative of Minecraft's like content, I don't really think it's bad that they're enforcing their rules as long as it's not an overreach, as long as they're not like Nintendo, you know,
I
where it's
will
like
say one thing.
yeah,
Yeah, they're totally legally allowed to do this. Like, there's nothing like illegal about
okay.
enforcing. My question more was just like, what are your thoughts on just like doing that in general? Because it kind of seems like they're just trying to kind of stomp any like bad like content, I guess.
What do you mean by bad?
Because guns, not good.
Uh, I don't know. I feel like for me, I don't really care because like if I'm playing Minecraft or like any of the high pixel stuff, I more want the Minecraft elements. I don't want to play like a shooter. Like if I'm gonna play a shooter, I'm gonna go hop on like Apex or something else. I don't really
Mm,
want shooter. I don't know. I don't really care.
you don't really care, but what about a kid who can't play Apex but can play a 64-bit CS:GO
They'll
Hypixel?
play Crunker. Like I'm sure they have better mechanics than that.
Maybe, but I don't think that's an argument just to like, oh yeah, so no guns because no one cares. It's like I don't know if that's I don't know. For me
Well,
personally, it's kind of stupid because it's like I don't really know exactly what they're trying to like stop. You know what I mean? Like it just
Uh
kind of
huh.
seems stupid to just like I think the issue is that they haven't really given a good reason. Like do they feel like having like guns in their like game not even in their game but just like servers having like third party kind of like guns and stuff like that like, is that like a bad influence on kids and they feel the need to like kind of curb that or something? Like, I think it's kind of hard to debate because we don't even know why they're doing it, really.
Yeah, we
Like,
don't know
they're
the
in their
stance.
legal. Oh, what?
We don't know, like yeah, like you said, we don't know the reason why they did it, so it's hard to be like, well, that's a dumb reason. We have no idea why.
Yeah. Well, um, it's kind of hard. It's like I said, it's kind of hard. So I was just kind of thinking, like, to kind of segue this into like a more general like question, like how much do you think games have influenced people, or even like you, to be exact? Like,
That's a good question. I don't because it's like, oh, video games cause violence. I don't think that's true, but it must be true to some degree if all you're watching is violent stuff. Like I feel like you're smart enough. I feel like anyone's smart enough to see like, oh, that TV man just killed that other TV girl. That's not good. It's just that simple, but at the same time you see it and it just becomes more normal, right?
mm,
But like Minecraft guns, that's the last thing from realistic or like impressionable, I would say. So I don't think I don't like how much have I been influenced by video games? That's a good question. I have no idea. Probably not for the better, but not that bad.
yeah, I don't know, because I was kind of thinking about this like question and stuff, and I think it definitely influences you, but I don't think video games influences you enough to really like have to be worried about it, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I think I don't know, because there are plenty of YouTubers, stuff like that. Like, like for instance, I think well, I don't know. I have like an idea in my head. I can't. Reese, what do you think? Because I need to
I
kind of.
think if you're I think it depends on the age that you play video games. I think if you're older, you can play whatever you want. You shouldn't really change as much. But I think if you put like a 6-year-old, 2 6-year-olds side by side, and you have one of them play like GTA and other games like that, and then one of them just plays like either sports games or Minecraft, and you just like compare their progress later in life, I'd bet the older ones, the one that plays GTA, is going to be like more desensitized, maybe more prone to violence than the person who did not play any of those games.
Yeah. I think it depends on 'cause it depends on what you want. Because if you put those two 6-year-olds in the same thing, and they're like, you put one into, like Apex, uh, no like voice chat. Put them in Modern Warfare 2, no voice chat, and have their goal to be competitive. Like, oh, I want to be the best at this and this. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that is different from, oh, I want to go kill people.
Yeah.
So if in their minds their goal is to like if their goal is different from something negative, I feel like they wouldn't affect them that much. But if you put a kid in front of like GTA or like a Modern Warfare 2 lobby and they have voice chat and they have access to the campaign to like to GTA, it's their goal is to be like the goal in GTA would probably be to be like more to find more smut, to find more like bad stuff. Because the goal of GTA is a campaign. It's not like I'm gonna go kill these people and I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna have so much money. It's more like, oh, I'm gonna go and do all these violent things because GTA. And with Modern Warfare, it's like this guy talks trash to me. Well, I can't have that, so I gotta talk trash back. And now it's not competitive. It's more about you going out and trying to do morally bad things. I mean, morally bad, that's a great term, but like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I totally get it. Like, I feel like, especially for like kids, like if I was a kid, I probably wouldn't be playing Apex in the sense that I do now, to where like I want to be the best. I want to compete against people.
Uh-huh.
I'd probably more like if I was given that or the option to play GTA, I'd definitely play GTA if I was a kid. I feel like just maybe just me personally, but like I feel like
Yeah.
that'd be the way I'd go. And I just feel like
Yeah.
those type
Because
of
the
games give free
curiosity when
reign.
you're young. Sorry, what
Yeah,
was that?
exactly. Yeah, it's like the free reign, the curiosity. It's like it's just
Yeah.
you want to get into stuff you're probably not supposed to look at.
Yeah. And even if you're set up with like all these good morals and like you're basically a saint, as soon as someone drops like, oh, don't do this, oh, don't do it, then you do it, you're like, you just get like a craving for more, even at a young
Yeah.
age, right? So I think you're right. At a young age, I think people can be more susceptible to, I don't know, corruption might be a harsh word, but yeah, I think it's still there.
Mhm.
Well, I think the only issue with that is that a lot of the things, like in like those examples that you gave, a lot of the influence isn't even from the game though. It's from like outside things, like the
I'd argue GTA
game
is
chat
pretty in
logging.
game.
Yeah, for Modern Warfare,
Well,
definitely the chat logs, but GTA is definitely the campaign.
well, I don't know, because you brought up the idea of like, oh, you want to play it because people don't like people tell you not to, like it's a naughty thing. You know what
Uh-huh.
I mean? I'd say that's definitely an influence to like want to play something, right? Like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people kind of mix those two because I mean there are definitely kids you see that grow up on like like GTA or like Call of Duty. Like squeakers. Do you remember watching those
Yeah,
videos back
I
in
was
the day?
called Squeaker all the time.
Yeah, where it's just like these annoying kids who like, well, most of the time they're like swearing, like they're horrible. But I don't think that's because like video games. I think that's just like a human element, where it's just like, that's kind of the people you surround yourself when you go into like a public lobby in like
Right.
GTA or
That'd
But
be the
how is
game.
Call of
that's
Duty.
not too much different from like a GTA where like one's you're getting it from other people and another one you're getting it from the game. Either way, you're getting it from somewhere and it's considered bad. So like I think if it influences you negatively from like if GTA, I think it's the video game's problem.
I
Same
don't
thing with
know.
Modern Warfare. It brings out it's just the I guess like the culture surrounding the game is the problem too.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
no, I don't know, because I would disagree, because like I mean when you say like the game still influences what exactly like I guess the characters swear and they like do some stuff. Like is that what you mean? Like where in that sense like they would still influence you even if there's no other people?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I think I'd still have to disagree even if that is the case, because I feel like those characters are so kind of like what's the word, like not connected in to real life at all, that like even a kid, to an extent, obviously there are definitely kids who have that issue where if you introduce the media to them at a very young age they can't really discern which is different. But even then it's kind of like, I don't know, like they're in LA, they're like in helicopters, they're blowing stuff up, they're like in heists, they
Hmm.
have superpowers and stuff like that. Like Michael can, turn like he can make everything slow down. I don't know. I've played GTA, so I kind of,
Uh, and
I'm
so
kind of
if you
the
were
expert. I'm the expert here, Come on.
yeah, if you were a 6-year-old kid and you saw that, wouldn't you go, "Wow, this is so cool! I get to kill people and rob banks."
You
Like,
would, but the real
yeah.
question is that kid now going to go out and try doing those things? I don't think so.
No, but it's still a negative influence. Just
Yeah.
because they don't
Yeah,
do something
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
mean
yeah.
it's not a
I'll agree with that, definitely. It's kind of like what you said in the beginning, where it's like you kind of become desensitized. So maybe they won't do anything, but like maybe they'll hear a story of someone robbing a bank and like killing some innocent people, and they might not think of that as like a tragedy, but like, oh, that's cool,
yeah.
So maybe in
Well, like
that way it would influence you, but I don't know if it would do anything else besides that.
I think it definitely dehumanizes you a bit more because I remember I never grew up playing any shooter games at all. And I remember I went over to one of our friends' house, Lehigh, and he had me play GTA for the first time. And I remember like walking around like killing people and just as old as I was, and it's kind of weird, but I remember kind of feeling a little sick, just like, man, I'm killing random people. Like, of course, it's fake, but it still made me a
Mhm.
little weirded out. I
Hmm.
remember thinking then, it was like, this is weird. I'm like 16, but I'm getting weirded out
Yeah.
by killing people in a fake game. So I definitely think you get desensitized a bit more than you think.
Yeah. I feel like Reese is the perfect case study because, like, if you know those, like, oh, elderly reacts, oh, teenagers reacts, you know those videos?
Yeah.
you show a kid like in a what's it called, like Sniper 4, or like they see
Oh
like the
yeah.
X-ray of someone's head getting blown off. And all the elderly people are going. They're doing the Joe Biden stutter, and then all the kids are going, "Wow, that's so epic!" Because I don't know if that is them knowing it's fake and saying that's cool, or them to some level being like, "Oh wow, I just killed this person. That's so epic."
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of hard. Like I think the main thing is I feel like it's just different for different kinds of people, honestly. Because
Hmm.
it's kind of interesting that you bring that whole like kids react thing, because that was you kind of reminded me. Did we ever send that to the meme chat of that one dude? He's like an elderly person, and he's on that like elderly react, and he's playing GTA 4 or GTA 5. Did you ever see
And
that? And he
yeah,
like
no, he
knocks the
stabbed the
woman.
hooker. Yeah.
Yeah, and he laughs really hard. I don't think he played video games, but like he still enjoyed it the same way a kid would, to a degree.
Right.
I
But he's
think it's just
also
kind of
90.
he's
Yeah.
also 90. Yeah, but it's still kind of interesting because in the same video you see people have the complete opposite reaction. So
Hmm.
I think it's just kind of one of those things where it's also you have to factor in that people just react differently, you know?
Right.
Like
But I
Reese.
don't think just having that statement of, oh, different people react differently as like a a good debate point, because everyone reacts differently. You give a
Mhm.
sociopath a knife and he's probably going to kill someone. Doesn't mean violence is always bad. Doesn't mean if you give a knife to a saint, he's not going to stab someone and go, oh, wow, look at that. Violence is always like good. You see that? We gave like them a knife and they didn't go murder someone. I think if the general effect is bad, you just look at the general effect instead of nitpicking certain
True.
people.
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, so I guess that's the main thing is just like is like games. Do you think games have influenced everyone to be worse in
Yes.
general?
Yeah, I think just media in general, video games
Media.
probably the most, because it's always like it's the same thing with like addictive substances. It's like, oh well, I smoked weed, and if you say weed is not a gateway drug, you're an idiot. But it's like, oh, I just took weed. It's not really doing much for me anymore. I'm gonna try heroin, or I mean, an in between drug. I don't really know.
We dare.
Yeah, I don't really know the pathway you would take. Same thing with media. It's like back then, it's like, oh, a train is on the screen during the first ever movie, and then everyone freaked out. But now that you see normal stuff, it's kind of boring. And now there's
Hmm.
horror films. There's I guess I don't really know a really terrible video game. Maybe like Gears of War. That's pretty gory. But
Yeah.
it's definitely gotten worse over the years. That's definitely had an impact on people. But like this is so far away from Minecraft blocky gun game, so I don't really
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. I don't think it's video games. I think it's just people in general. Just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, I really like how do you say that? Anonymity. But I
Uh-huh.
think that's the main reason that
So
like
you think the
everything's gone to
internet?
crap. Yeah, just that. Because I feel like if we were to take a world where every single video game is still made, but like this isn't a realistic world because it's kind of impossible. But anyways, if you were to take a world where let's say like GTA 5 comes out, Gears of War is still a thing. Every single video game that we have now, like at its goriest, is still there. But like we didn't have like Instagram or like Twitter or like anything like that. I don't think we would be in the same kind of like world, you
I
know,
think it'd
and
be
kind
way
of
different, but for a
it
different
Yeah.
would be
reason. I don't
it
think
would
I
way
don't
be
think video
like way
games
different.
contribute that much to how bad things are. I would say if you took away, let's say, all the violent video games, you'd only see like a little less of an impact. I don't think they had that much of an impact, but I still think they influence.
Yeah.
They still influence you. I don't know. I think it's just a part of me. Like it's kind of obvious. I see this a little bit differently than you guys. I think it's just
Mhm.
kind of human nature. Like if you are just kind of like I don't know. Like I always think back to like times when they didn't have like video games, anything like that. People still like like huddled around like public hangings. You know, they used to see people get like decapitated, stuff like that. There
What?
was, yeah. Don't you remember like guillotines in France,
Mhm.
hangings here in America? You know what I mean? I'm sorry,
And
this is new
Oh,
concept to you,
that's
Reese.
like 100 years ago or something.
Yeah, that's actually my point. It's 100 years ago. Video games were nowhere to be seen, but that was just kind of like human nature. You're just kind of like morbidly kind of curious about those things, regardless if you have something to influence you
I feel
into
like you couldn't
thinking
go
about
back that far though. I feel like you'd only go back to like maybe like the 80s
no,
to compare.
I feel like you can go back that far. Because what if you go to a public execution and you're 6 years old and you see it? You're gonna go, "Holy crap! This is gonna completely alter my sense of reality."
it.
That's true.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
true.
Hey, I
But would
haven't
that be
realized that.
compared to video games, or would that be compared to the internet? I feel like that'd
I
be more an
think,
internet comparison.
yeah,
I
I
think
think
the
that's
influence
just
of things is different from instinct. Like, it's just saying like, oh, it's human nature to be curious about morally wrong things. Uh, though that's different from trying to find the influence of video games. And we all
yeah,
agree that the influence of video games can be negative.
it definitely can. Yeah,
So why would
like
we ignore
Yeah, why?
that and just say, oh well, humans are
Yeah, what are we
naturally,
arguing about?
yeah, I don't.
that's true. That's true. It's like I don't know. The more we talk about this, the more I realize like this is kind of it's kind of hard because I keep I think you're right. I am kind of talking about different things, aren't I? Because it's just the influence of games, and then compared to like I don't know. Because we started talking about like the world and like
Uh,
oh, is it like better or worse or I don't know. It was just kind of.
yeah, no,
But
it's
I
like,
think
do you think
no,
human nature is like sometimes bad? It's like, yes, but that doesn't really ignore the fact or make the point moot that video games can influence people.
I don't know though. Because like okay, I am still kind of leaning that it doesn't. I think people just have interests and they will go like I think that's kind of what the point I was making is that like violent video games don't create people who are attracted to violence. I think just people who kind of are attracted to violence create violent video games. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
but if you have a natural predisposition,
A deposition, I think.
whatever that word is, if you're
I think it is a disposition.
predisposed
Yeah,
to like
predisposed.
violent things, if there's no
Mhm.
violent things, you'll have nothing to
Be
learn
like
off of. You'll have
attracted
no
to.
influence
Yeah,
around you. But if
that's true.
video games are violent, it'll spread it more. Same thing with like the internet. The internet has spread a lot of things really fast just because of the amount of information that can be exchanged. And going back to your point, if there was no internet, the spread of violence would be way less.
I don't
It'll
know.
still be
It's
there.
just the only
Yeah,
thing I really
just
have
less.
to like kind of counter that is like anecdotal. So I don't know if this is actually a good point, but I always think to like I remember having a couple friends in my old elementary school who they were not allowed to do like anything like you know they didn't have internet, like no violent video games, no guns, like very strict parents about things
Sound
like
like
that.
me.
Yeah, kind of like you, except you didn't have the same reaction because I feel like a lot of those kids, when they get to a certain age, like they're in high school, they're not little kids anymore. They immediately. Now, I know this is kind of what you were saying about like, I remember how you mentioned like, oh, people tell you not to do something, you just want to do it, kind of
Uh-huh.
thing. Well, they kind of went into the other, like, you know, the pendulum swung and they immediately went into like the worst kid ever. But like there are a couple of instances where they just stay there, like they really enjoy it, and I don't know, because they weren't predisposed to be attracted to those kinds of things. They were actually in an environment where they had a lack of those things, and then when
Well,
they
you could
grew
still
up,
say they're predisposed though, because they are forbidden to do
Yeah.
it.
forbidden.
Like,
Maybe I'm using that word wrong, but I'm saying like you have a natural allure, a natural interest in something like that,
Mhm.
just on like a basic level.
How,
like,
then
what
how
about
would
this,
you
George?
raise a kid to make
Uh,
sure they aren't predisposed into that then? Because if you forbid it, and that means they're still predisposed, but if they see it, that means they're predisposed. Then what means they aren't predisposed? Like, what kind of situation would that have to be then?
Yeah, that's why I think I'm using that word wrong, because how you're using it, I do not understand.
You know?
Because what I'm saying is, like, you have a natural inkling, like in the back of your mind, from birth, you like violent things. You're
Mhm.
saying exposed as like environmental influences.
Yeah, I
I'm saying
guess.
instinctual.
Like
Like
almost like fate.
instinctual.
Yeah.
So, like, we use
What?
because now wait. So, like, my brain has hit a wall here. Okay, wait. So,
So like Brian
you're
was kind of saying,
saying,
like, if you know how like some like psychological like psychopaths are kind of born certain ways to where they have like genetic malfunctions in their ways to make them, they don't have emotion or whatever. Like what if you're born in a way that um you're prone to like violence, or you're prone to anger in a way?
hmm,
Yeah.
Wouldn't Yeah, stuff like that. So that would kind of help. Violent video games would be a way to help push you further toward that way.
Yeah,
hmm,
exactly.
hmm. I don't know though, because the only issue with that is that it kind of makes it difficult to really kind of separate what video games cause and what you yourself would do naturally. You know what I mean? With that kind of thing, where it's just like, oh, you're kind of like instinctually attracted to violence, so you find violent things, and that makes you more attracted to it. Like, it's
I,
kind
ki- I
of,
kind of I kind of think of it like this. If your environment has more violent things, you have more violent information to use in your head, and that will naturally give you more violent ideas.
hmm.
That's
And
just like a simple domino effect I would assume would happen
yeah, I
if
think that's logically how that
around
would.
you is more violent, you know?
Yeah, because you would know more violent things.
Yeah.
So, I guess my question is, do you think someone who has, access to more violent things and stuff like that, would that in turn, like, with those more violent thoughts, would that make it so they're more attracted to violence as a whole? Just like
Yeah,
the concept of violence?
I feel like just on a percentage, obviously I have no idea. We have no studies to back this
Yeah.
up.
We're
But
like
just
very intellectual and like, dude, we're just like bull crapping. There's
yeah,
probably
no,
like,
we're just
yeah,
thinking. We have no
yeah.
facts. So like
Mm.
We're
please,
free thinkers.
if you're smart and you study stuff, please don't roast us in the comments. Actually,
There's
please
probably
do.
some
Please comment, please.
Please comment below what
Like
you
and
there's
think.
probably
subscribe.
there's probably some Harvard student like doing a thesis on this. Like, dude, these guys are so wrong. Like, how do they even come to these conclusions?
um, yeah, no, I guess just based on a percentage, if your environment is just more violent, you will be more violent in turn, I guess I would say.
Hmm.
I would say
It
so.
is. It's just kind of hard to say honestly, because
Yeah.
we don't have like admin tools. We can't really dissect someone's
Yeah.
thoughts and be like, okay, wait, if we put this guy in a place where there's no violence, would he not be violent at all? Like, it's like
Yeah.
kind of hard to say because I think you're right. There's definitely people who just naturally, just like instinctually, are just
Uh-huh.
like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to like cave someone's brain or at least see what like that is? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And to
And
the
there's
complete opposite side, like I'm sure I grew up in a very great, I know for a fact I grew up in a very great household with very great morals. And I remember I was playing Call of Duty 2, Black Ops 2, and there's one scene where it's you and like your military buddies, and you're basically fighting like a tribe in Africa. That's basically how it is. And of course, I have guns and they have machetes, and so I'm just like mowing them down. I'm going, I don't like this. And
I don't
so
know.
I'm obviously gonna go, I don't like violent things. So
Yeah, I can't
kind of to the
imagine if
opposite.
I, as a child, played the like no Russian. Like I would just die.
Yeah, no, you couldn't handle that. You would have died. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's kind of weird because the main reason why I point that out is I feel like I never really had that problem. Like, I think, but it's super weird because I do remember instances like, what you were talking about with like GTA, and it just felt weird to like kind of
Uh-huh.
like kill people. stuff. I do remember as a kid, I would feel that, but never about video games. I would feel it more about like, I remember my cousins used to babysit me. Actually, no, not my cousins. It was like a family friend from the church. Their kids would babysit me. And I remember their kids used to listen to like death metal and stuff like that. And that like every single time I like heard that, it always made me feel so weird and I just didn't like it. You know what I mean? But like violent video games never did that to me. Like it was just kind of weird how like that's why I say like I don't know because I feel like it's just kind of I don't know if
Maybe you're an
predispose it.
outlier, or maybe
But
An
at the
you're.
outlet.
same time, I remember a distinct conversation in the car where you said, "What if I threw a grenade into that group of people?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
So I
true.
mean, it's not like we're not violent people.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of yeah. I don't know. I say those as shock humor. Okay, I'm not being. I
Sure,
would
That was a
never.
George.
very genuine question. I remember that like the back of my hand.
No, this is not real.
No.
No, no. You're gonna make me seem like a psychopath, dude.
Well, that
I'm
was a
the
psychopathic moment, to be honest.
what? Okay, but no, no.
Which we
George
all
is one
have, by
video
the
game
way.
away from a mass murder.
The 20 years from now, I'm gonna be the next like Jeffrey Dahmer, and there's gonna be a documentary or something. Like the chilling, you can hear the chills as you listen to this future serial killer try and justify his worldview. It's like,
Like so like those impulsive those thoughts that pop into your brain that are obviously not okay.
mhm,
I'm pretty sure I heard some psychological fact where it's your brain trying to gauge where you lie on things like that.
yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And so if you play less violent video games and see less violent media, would those violent impulses be just way more chill? What if you never were exposed to anything violent, any form of violent media, and your brain popped in something horrible, something terrible, and it was you like slapping your mom or something? That's
that's
it.
like a different level. I don't know. Is it weird that I feel like that's like more
To be honest,
weird
it's your mom.
than
That's
throwing?
way worse than a
Yeah,
random person.
I, I'd rather think about throwing a grenade into a group of people than slapping my
That's so weird. So, don't you
Yeah.
think video games or media has influenced that in some way? Because it's a nameless group of people, just like nameless video game characters.
Mhm. I think there's definitely. I think you're definitely right to an extent, 100%. Because, but then again, it's like I said. I don't think I've ever had a moment where that wasn't the case. Does that make sense? Like I never played a video game like even as a kid where I was like, like I always thought of it as just like these are just like video game. I don't really care about like killing people in Call of Duty. Like I never did. It wasn't like, oh, I used to, and then I played a lot, and now I don't. It's like I don't recall ever caring at all, because I just knew that it was just not real. And I guess when I think about thoughts like that, it's always under the context that these people are in kind of the same thing where they're just not real. I'm not thinking about like, oh, let's think about every single person in this group, their individual families and their relationships, and then throw a grenade. It's just throw a grenade. What would the physics look like? What would it look like? You know what I mean? Not necessarily like, oh,
Psychopath.
what's the emotional like issues with doing that? Like I don't think about that, when I make kind of things like that. I'm not a psychopath, I swear, okay? I have empathy.
So you think
Yeah.
about grenading people a lot then? Is that what
Well,
I'm
okay,
hearing?
wait, hold up. That was something he brought up, which was like a thing I said. Because I think I did say that, but that was a while ago. That was a long time
Wasn't
ago.
that like 2 months ago?
That was not 2 months ago.
No,
That
it
was
was
like,
like 4-ish years ago.
yeah, that was a
Oh, is
while.
that long ago? Oh,
Or
I thought this
Yeah,
3-ish
was.
years ago.
we were like, it was like lunch during school or something like that. I
Yeah.
remember.
Jeez
Yeah.
Louise.
Anyways,
That's even worse. God.
Yeah.
it was 4 years ago. Okay, come on, dude.
You've probably had worse thoughts since then. From all these
Yeah.
video games you've been playing.
Yeah.
Ah, these gosh darn video games. It's funny because I'm the only guy who doesn't swear either. You know,
That's so true.
like
It's not like swearing is violent. It can be. It can
I
influence you to do more violent things if you think it's violent. Same thing
I
with
don't
like
know.
video games. Ooh,
I don't know
segue.
because I play a ton of video games that have swearing in. I never wanted to swear. You know,
Well, I
so, like,
think you're an outlier
get countered.
because you
Get
went through whole
countered.
high school without doing really anything bad.
Yeah, I'm a good kid. Maybe it's just like, have you ever thought maybe my violent thoughts is what makes me so good? Hmm? It's like a balance, a
Yeah.
scaling
Yeah.
balance. Okay. Also,
Oh.
you know what? I don't even know why I'm even like. I don't have violent thoughts. Like, this is not this is not the way I want to be framed on this podcast. Okay? I guess I did call you a child molester the other episode, so you know,
Yeah, and that's like
fair,
a half
fair.
truth. So it's like
Yeah, fair is fair, I guess. Anyways, ugh. I mean, unless you have anything else to, because it is kind of interesting how you're kind of the opposite of me, Reese, where you didn't have any kind of,
mhm.
interactions with any sort of like content like that when you were a kid.
Yeah. I guess like my takeaway would be like I feel like um if you give kids more violent exposure, whether through the internet or video games or movies, when they're young, they're more likely to be prone to embracing. How do I want to phrase that? I don't want to say they're going to be violent or they're going to be mass shooters, but they're definitely more likely to be desensitized, and I feel like they're more likely to act violent than someone who had not been exposed to those things at all.
Yeah.
I disagree with that entirely.
Well,
That's
then that's why you're stupid.
ah
It's I
okay.
think it's interesting too because even though you say you're not a violent person, but like you do MMA and like you practice
That's
MMA and
true.
watch MMA, which is the
That's
most
true.
violent sport.
That is
True.
a good point. But Reese does too. He did it with me.
Well,
Reese
I
is
do it
I'm
for
actually
not arguing that
competition.
Reese is a good person or
Reese
that
is
he's
a
not been
psychopath.
exposed to violence.
Boom, get destroyed, Bryant. The opposite of
Hold
me.
on, hold on.
He's doing
I
MMA
do
too.
it
Reese is the
for
one who actually is
competition.
gonna do it more than me. He's gonna do it more than me. Hey, I do it. I would do it for competition too. I never said I would do
You
it.
don't train with me when I ask you.
Yeah. So you're way into it more. You're more violent
No,
than me,
no,
dude. You're
no.
way more violent than me.
Bull
Reese wants to
crap.
punch a baby, guys. Come on, that's the takeaway here. And yeah, screw you.
I think if you, Jorge, were never exposed to like boxing or fighting, I don't think you'd ever do MMA, right? And I don't think if
Yeah,
you're ever exposed to video games or violence in those forms, you wouldn't think about bombing little groups of people at the same
True.
time.
I don't know. I think it's just more of a. I think if my main takeaway is, I personally don't think video games do that. I think it's more of like the people around you and stuff like that. Because I would attribute my interest into like MMA and boxing like that is more because of I remember my dad used to take me to like people's houses to go watch like Mayweather versus Pacquiao and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
That was like the environment I grew up in. You know what I mean? And even then, I remember I didn't really care about boxing, but just I think those kind of events, seeing how everyone's so focused on it, I think that definitely influenced me. I don't think boxing itself influenced me. I think it's more of just like the environment around things influences you to do those things, right? So if you're in an environment where it's like violence is a normal thing and people really like violence, you're going to really like violence because everyone around you really likes violence. If you're in a like let's say a rock climbing household or some crap like that where like your
Uh-huh.
mom rock climbs and your dad rock climbs, you'll probably want to rock climb in the future just because the people around you, not necessarily rock climbing itself influence you, but like the people around you influence you to like rock climbing. Like I
Mhm.
think that's my main takeaway
But
personally.
doesn't that
I'm
Yeah.
not
prove
saying
the
it's
point?
impossible.
Does
Yeah, I
that
don't
then
really see the difference between that and then playing video games because you're getting exposed to the same thing.
Okay,
yeah.
well, you're just not intellectually smart enough to understand.
I
Guys,
think you're
comment
trying to
down
look for a
below.
root cause, but it's kind of
Guys,
just like everywhere.
no, guys, comment down below how I intellectually destroyed these two and how much smarter I am, okay? Screw
Facts
you.
don't care about your feelings. Push up
Yeah.
your glasses while you're at it.
Yeah, I will. I will. Okay, we're
Uh,
gonna switch topics.
wait,
If that's
no,
okay.
no,
Nope.
Oh,
No,
he's
I
just
win.
gonna have the
I win.
last word.
no.
I
Let's
win.
Not
I
gonna
win.
Brian
Nope.
anything.
if we take this back
He's saying I
to
roll.
Minecraft, I still don't think they should take away guns because it's Minecraft and everything else is already so much worse. So I don't.
Yeah, you can set villagers on fire and like watch
Yeah,
have their families watch and
you
stuff.
do
I don't.
literal slavery. I don't think fake
You
guns in a
yeah,
block game.
that's true.
Yeah.
In whose house is it that they wanted to do like a sex dungeon?
That was
It
probably.
was it.
I mean, probably everyone in our
Minecraft
group.
house. Minecraft house. That's their Minecraft house. Not
No,
their
their real
actual
house.
Yeah, in their real house, Reese. What are you talking about, dude?
I don't want to
Everyone in our group wants to do
Look.
that. You have okay. Well, can I move on?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I win. So
yeah.
we're moving on. We're moving on. Okay, this is kind of our last thing. This is like a hypothetical I've had. Okay,
Okay.
and it is kind of based around recent events. Reese, I know you know definitely, right? Messi, Inter,
Oh yeah.
Miami. Yeah, so we're not going to talk about that necessarily because I don't even know too much about that whole thing, right? Like I love Messi, but I don't know the
Come on.
intricate like
Do better, George.
isn't he positioned to like own an MLS thing like with the deal or whatever isn't that a
So
thing?
basically, it looks like he's getting ownership of part of the club in MLS, along with cuts from Apple, with because they host the online. So how you watch MLS games online, that's how you have to go through Apple. So he's going to get a cut of all the viewership from that. And he's also getting a big brand deal from Adidas.
Okay. Well, again, I don't really want to discuss the specifics like, oh, what do you think would have been a better deal for Messi? Like, this isn't a sports podcast. This is more kind of leading into my hypothetical because I've been seeing more comments and stuff like that. And it kind of reminds me of people talking about when Ronaldo left to go into, the Camel League in Saudi Arabia or whatever, but he got a
Mm-hmm.
ton of money. And I was just kind of thinking, like, it kind of got the hypothetical in my head. What would you choose really? Would you choose legacy or money? We
Legacy.
can come up like with a better hypothetical because that's a very broad like legacy or money. Though you answered legacy almost instantly. Why is that?
I want to be the best at something, and I want to be known for it. And
Even if you're
so,
poor?
yeah, like honestly, like even like let's say I went to the UFC, did two belts, defended a bunch of times, and I left without losing, kind of like what Khabib did. I
He
feel
left
I'd
like a
much rather do
coward
that.
though. He left like a
I don't
coward.
get like he's still gonna be regarded as GOAT because he was undefeated. Like I want to leave when I'm at my prime, maybe not at my prime, but a little after, so that people will remember me and not going off and like just searching for money or going out because I'm bad. I'm
So
losing
you
like that.
choose legacy, like
Yeah,
always over money, like a ton of money.
yeah, a ton of money. I'd still
Like
leave.
you'd still leave. What about you, Brian? What about you?
uh, is this for sports specifically or?
Well, that's the only issue. It's like I said, it's a very broad thing. Like,
Yeah,
I guess what does legacy mean to you, really? Because for Reese, it's a sports thing, but like it could be just like because when I think of legacy, I do think of sports and stuff like that. Obviously, the reason why I came up with this hypothetical is because of sports, like Messi going. But when I think of legacy, I more think about like, oh, would my grandchildren know who I was? You know what I mean? Stuff like
yeah.
that. Like, do you value that, or do you value just like you get a ton of money? Like, what do you value more? I guess.
I feel like so. Like I'm gonna change the situation a little bit. I would
You can.
say
Definitely.
if someone gave me the option to be like, okay, your children, your great grandchildren, all the way down to like your 15th generation, all regard you as like the most kind, like caring, charitable person ever. I would take that over any money in the world. Um, But if someone was like, oh, do you want to be the best like basketball player or a bajillion dollars? I'm gonna take the like $1 million, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I think I would agree. Like the thing that Reese is talking about, I don't think I would do that. I don't
Mhm.
think I would.
Really?
Like, don't get me wrong, I definitely do fantasize about doing that and stuff, but like a life-changing amount of money is a life-changing amount of money. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For me personally, I definitely think more like, again, if this is kind of the thing where you can only have one or the other, right? So if I'm UFC double champ, triple champ, whatever, I'm like amazing, like 20 title defenses, like holy crap, this guy's insane, but like I'm poor by the end of it, like I have nothing. I don't think I would choose that because I would have the legacy. Everyone would remember me. But like in the end, legacy only gets you so far after. Like, what about several years afterwards? Like, oh yeah, I was champ once, but you're like homeless. Now you're
I
just
mean, if
gonna.
you get that far, I don't think you're gonna be homeless afterwards. But
I mean,
Well,
a good
this is a
amount of like football
hypothetical.
people go homeless, or at least
Yeah.
broke after their $1 million contracts, right?
like the biggest
Or
ones, the ones that leave a legacy,
If they're smart and they make a brand, no, but sometimes
yeah.
yes.
I mean, this is a hypothetical, Reese. Okay, don't ruin it with your realistic, like, oh, actually, if you were double champ, you'd probably get a lot of like ads and stuff.
You
You
Well,
did what you
I'm
wanted
hypocrite.
to
just
do
saying,
You
like
hypocrite.
you can always make money enough to survive most of the
from
time if you're
legacy.
in a good situation. You can never have a legacy though, like as easy as you can as money, right? Like I would rather not regret having the possibility of making a legacy rather than having a lot of money because you can always make money. I feel like.
This guy wants his cake and eats it too. He wants to eat his cake and have it at the same time. He that
Agree,
one
dude.
that one thing, that one quote, that one
The,
saying.
one-
He wants to do that.
yeah, the one saying, yeah.
uh,
Put it up on the screen right now. That one saying.
Yep,
The
that
cake
one.
can eat
mhm.
it, and
That one
the
right
cake
there.
eats it too.
Oh
Okay.
shoot,
Yep.
you're right.
You want to eat cake? Get out of here.
Yeah, screw screw you, dude. No, it's like I said though. I think, but a family legacy, I would cherish that a lot. But like
Yeah,
legacy among people I don't even know, I don't know if I would. I
yeah.
don't get me wrong, still cool. I'm not getting down on you for wanting that. That's still sick though. But I don't know if I personally would want that. Like, you know what I mean? That kind of legacy. I still would like legacy more than money, but more just like personal legacy rather than like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm LeBron or something. I don't know.
I feel like if I
because
was gonna, sorry, go ahead.
I feel like I want to be regarded in high regard. I want to have people, I'm gonna say the same thing again. Regarded in high regard. Wow.
Oh,
Whoa,
okay,
this guy's
that's different.
spitting, dude.
My vernacular is out of this world.
Oh my.
Yeah, no, I want to have a good reputation is what I'm trying to say. But at the same
Yeah.
time, what you were saying, Jorge, if I was LeBron James or Michael Jordan, half of the people who really like me are really fat and they suck at basketball. I don't really care about that. If my family cared about me, I mean, might as well have a bajillion fans and my family loving me. But if it's only like superstardom and that's it, I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
That's true. I
Yeah.
feel like I like let's say like I wouldn't want to be. I haven't seen the boys but, like Homelander. I guess like like everyone. I assume everyone loves him in that show.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to
basically.
have that kind of legacy.
Yeah.
I'd also want to have my family there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nope. Too bad. Too bad. You ate the cake and you
Ah,
ate
You
it
ate
too.
a cake. Get out of here.
Yeah.
no.
Screw you, man. Do you think we should wrap it up, possibly?
Sure. It's been about an
Okay.
hour.
Well,
Title
guys,
this Reese eats some cake.
Reese eats some cake. Well, that was episode 7.
Jeez, 7 already.
Jeez. Yeah, jeez
If
Louise.
let's
We are
get 7 likes. 7 likes and 7
7
comments.
Comment
please,
below who won.
Please.
please. We need 7 likes, or I throw an actual grenade into a group of people. Okay, guys. Let's go. Thank you.